according to 247 Sports, and they've got scoring, they've got shooting, they got versatility. This is a different looking Kansas State team than last season.
Lee Dort at 6'10" loses the tap. It's controlled by Haggerty and Kansas State. Now Haggerty, one of the elite scorers in the country, sees an early double. Jump give, opposite. On the baseline drive. Nice look, but McGriff could not handle. Taken away by Ames, who's willing to pass. Transition triple. Chris Bell knocks it down.
And that's a good sign for Cal, who's just shooting 15% from three this season.
And at the other end, Nate Johnson draws an early foul, going right on the end line into Justin Pippen.
Dana Ames is averaging almost 22 points a game, but he is absolutely a willing passer, getting just over 3 assists a game. Good job of getting the ball to the middle of the floor in that fast break.
Haggerty calling the break, finds a great shooter in Abdi Bashir Jr. Knocked out 10 threes when he was with Monmouth against Rutgers last year. Set the program and CAA record. Haggerty got hit and fouled. Day Ames has his first.
Well, John, you said it. You know, one thing about this K-State offense, there's so much attention to P.J. Haggerty. But the reason why Haggerty is so good is because he's always playing next to Abdi Bashir, who is an elite pressure release foul for him. Because you could make an argument that Bashir is the best three-point shooter in the country.
Kansas State is the best outside shooting team. Quick close, though, on Bashir there. Great feed on a bounce. Leader and one! Kamari McGriff with a chance at a three-point play.
Everything changes for Bashir's game when he can put it on the deck in short roll, pick and roll action and make that pocket pass. That was beautifully executed by Bashir.
And he went right at Lee Dort.
Yeah.
Cal's biggest man at 6'10", their top rebounder. You believe there's a difference in the front courts?
Well, I think Cal's front court, even though their overall average height, according to KenPom, they're taller than Kansas State. But Cal has some finesse underneath to where there's some skill in ISO post-up situations.
Bell off the jab step. Reset to Pippen playing with a foul. The son of Scotty, the Bulls legend. Dort flips to Pippen, an elite passer whose turnover numbers are a bit high early. And Bell gives it away, grain of the lane. Haggerty 3-on-2. Cuts to the cup, cuts through, rejected. What help getting back by John Camden. Ames leaked ahead. Bell close out Bashir, gets closer. Foul on the floor. Well, the backcourt can bring it for Kansas State. Depth
going to come off the bench. He was a pleasant surprise for Coach Tang at Kansas State last season.
The last foul went to Bashir. Dort just lost the handle. Thought he got fouled by Elias Rapia. The one wrinkle for Kansas State, who has been their starting five, Rapia gets the nod for a second straight game.
I think, you know, early on, especially now in the current state of college basketball, that starting lineup could change 5 or 6 times until a coach and a coaching staff really gets a feel for how they like to start a game. So many new faces for both teams.
Haggerty, the jump give. Nate Johnson. End line, reverse, got old school. He beat Pippen to the bucket.
That's a great description of Nate Johnson's game. He is old school. He scores simply, but effectively.
Now, there is some buzz in this building. These are two teams that have put up points through just a handful of games on the young year.
Good denial by Johnson on that DHO. Got caught, though.
Ames short. Rapia got that slight swat. Seemed indecisive. Now showing the shake. Spin move down the lane. Kiss, miss. And Dort rips it down.
Oh, he took a shot in the nose as well. Rapia is hurting.
He is doubled over near midcourt as we get a whistle at the other end on the Pippen drive.
Yeah, and we've got blood on the court here.
Well, there's multiple droplets. He is with staggered stride trying to make his way to the bench. Cupping his nose, his blood is leaked out onto the floor.
Nothing intentional. That was just a hard, aggressive.
Have shown an elite ability to get to the free throw line, and we do see some early foul concerns on both sides.
And that's where Haggerty is so good. He is one of those guys where he's not going to do anything flashy, and then you look up at the scoreboard and you're like, oh my gosh, he's got 15 already, and it's just the first half.
Tough hang and a miss by Pippen. And it's ripped down by McGriff, who had picked up the prior foul, his first. Big focus on the direction Cal wants Haggerty to go in.
Yeah, they do not want him to go left. He goes left about 65% of the time, according to Synergy Sports. They really want him to try to go right as much as possible.
And they have forced him to do that now twice, and both times no buckets on that possession.
And you and I can both see this, and everybody watching. And Cal went over this heavily in their scouting report and walkthrough. They're trying to push P.J. Haggerty as far away from the three-point line as possible in pick-and-roll action. The hard hedge, they're trying to go all the way to that K-State logo.
Hard collision with George. Great look behind the back, right in the lane, taken away. Harassing pressure up the floor. Camden transition triple is off. And then a foul on the floor, weak side, looking for the loose ball. That's going to go on Haggerty as his first. Is this too cute?
It's a great, no, that's perfect. How else are you going to make that pass? I love that pass. More behind the back passes in college basketball are required and needed as far as I'm concerned. When I'm commissioner of college basketball, it's a requirement, one per game.
Going full Globetrotters.
That's right. But sometimes, people say, oh, it's a fancy pass. To me, that was a necessary pass because of how the closeout was happening.
And Cal, what do we look for from Cal offensively? How do they run offense?
So Cal runs a lot of European style, and there's a lot of stuff from what you'll see for the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. A ton of dribble handoff action. Dribble handoff and flares are what Cal is trying to get.
David Castillo getting time, the point guard of the future, coming off a brilliant shooting day for Kansas State. Lob to Castillo, double comes, floater rejected by Pippen. 7 to shoot.
Really good early help by Camden. Watch Camden come from the weak side, 2 hands up.
And a coach's box warning has been issued by Doug Sermons, our lead official, to Mark Natson. We have a great crew here. Doug Sermons worked his 10th Final Four last year at the title game. Tony Padilla had his 4th Final Four last year, and Brooks Wells has been a second weekend official. Haggerty double, traveled.
Well, that's back-to-back elite help defensive plays from John Camden. Watch the extra help. Hands up.
So here comes Pippen, part of Michigan's run to the Big Ten tournament title last year. Bell off the up fake, cuts closer.
Great help defense there.
Twisting baseline J is good over the 7-2 Doreen Buka.
The Syracuse transfer. That is as tough as it comes in the mid-range.
Haggerty saw a seam, pocket picked by Pippen, 3-on-1. Nice no look to the cup, Ames bucket. 9-5 Cal, 6 unanswered in a minute. K-State has not scored in 2.5 minutes, turning it over 3 times in that span. Bashir lead. Ike Garuka, the handoff to Castillo. Now with 10 on the timer, the offense in earnest. Flip corner, quick trigger, rigged. Castillo knocks it down.
They're the best three-point shooting team in the country right now. They are shooting an off-the-charts 56% as a team. Wow.
That's through a couple of games, scoring nearly 200 points in those first 2 games.
Second assist for P.J. Haggerty as well.
Pippen kick to Camden. Ames on high, showing the shake. The former K-State Wildcat. Nice no-look down low. Buka slaps it away, and the Wildcats have it. Transition 3, Bashir. Back-to-back triples for Kansas State. Pippen open, off. Castillo soars for the board. You can feel the swagger in this K-State offense. Euro left. Timeout Cal. 8 unanswered for Kansas State.
Well, back and forth we go. K-State's starting to get hot. That's virtually automatic for Bashir, the best three-point shooting team in the country, getting hot at home.
Better at that because we have some dudes that can shoot that thing.
You can make an argument that Jerome Tang has the best individual scorer in the country in P.J. Haggerty and the best three-point shooter in the country in Abdi Bashir. You're going to score a lot of points with those two guys.
Well, he did show some pressure to stagger Cal up the floor. Carr left wing three is a miss. T.T. Carr, who missed the last couple of games, is back here tonight. And then a whistle the other end as Carr is trying to deny against the 6'6" Moby Ike Garuka. Bit of a sell there, man.
Oh, you got to sell it.
So here's a sub that I thought would come out of the timeout. Nolan Dorsey, he's a defensive whiz himself. CAA's Defensive Player of the Year at Campbell last year. Plays about 20 minutes a game. Now Bashir gives to his big Ibuka. Drop step. Great leg, two-hand jam. Big to big, and Ike Garuka rocks the rim. Well, the paint points heating up for Kansas State. While Cal, you pointed out during break, its offense had all come from giveaways by the Wildcats.
Yeah, all 9 points have come off of Kansas State's turnovers.
Dort cuts cup and a miss. Might have been altered by the size of Boca.
Well, it 100% was. That's the sign of a good rim protector. It's not about block shots. It's also about the shots that you force that you don't shoot well, but that guy shoots as deep. He's got in the gym range for Abdi Bashir.
Oddly enough, he had some misses in shoot-around today.
That means nothing for Abdi Bashir.
Ames contested jumper. Tough shot. What a response.
Another guy that just makes really tough shots. He is a true three-level scorer. That mid-range is a good old-school shot for him.
Ends a 13-0 run. Johnson, that's too easy. He just waltzed to the rim.
How about aggressive, that jab step? Totally threw Cal away from where he wanted to go. Just a tough, fundamentally sound move from Johnson.
It's a 15-2 Kansas State run. Hamden contested. Deep three, got it. That was defended pretty well, and he still drains it.
And he shot 41% from three last season. He's just at about 34% this season, but the staff treats him like a 40% three-point shooter. He's got a green light.
Bashir sees the double. Nice lead. Extra pass. Johnson. Defended by Dorsey. Show and shake. A tight angle. Camden rips it down.
That's one of the few, I think, forced shots from Nate Johnson that you'd like to have back if you were the Kansas State coaching staff.
Dorsey, no look. Dort. Driving on Buka. Denies. And he gives it away to Bashir. Bashir, alley-oop, and a high cascade on the body control by Ike Garuka.
And Bashir threw it only where Ike Garuka could get it. Smart, heady passing. Coach Tang is fired up on the sidelines, preaching defense.
Doug Sermons just gave Mark Madsen another nudge. Stay in the box. He's already received one warning. Ames, tough. Dorsey, a little short. Loose on the deck, won by the Bears. Carr hammered and fouled. That'll be Bashir with his second. So 2 on one of the best shooters in the country. They can bring it, though. He got the dime on that run. Kansas State's offense running free.
Point line and an excellent dime from the 7'2" center.
First free throw of the game for Cal is a make by Carr. The foul before the break of Biggie. Abdi Bashir now with 2. Do you sit him rest of the way?
I usually tend to trust three-point shooters to not get in foul trouble. Usually three-point shooters generally will take a step back, but Coach Tang doesn't want you playing soft either, so you're going to get a couple minutes of rest.
First pressure the Cal's been able to put on it a bit. They haven't had makes in a while. So Castillo, you noticed him running point, changing things for Kansas State.
Giving P.J. Haggerty the ability to move without the ball. It takes a little pressure off of him, not having the ball in his hands the whole time.
Rhythm three, Castillo. He's been on fire.
Guess who kicked that? Nate Johnson, the transfer from Akron, just makes the smart plays over and over and over again.
Pippen on the pound. Dorsey out of the corner. Pippen given space, almost daring him to shoot. 9 to shoot. Ritas Petritis getting time. Ball's whipping on the wing. They need a look, and Pippen has it knocked away.
Costa saved that defensive play.
Deep three, Castillo! He averaged 2.5 points a game last year. They are just discovering who he can be.
And that's the 5th three for Kansas State. They have not missed from the three-point line, the best three-point shooting team in the country.
Carr kick, Dorsey load, responds. Snaps a 6-0 surge.
He can shoot that. Just over 36% from three himself last season.
Johnson. Castillo's been the hot hand. And one! Kamari McGriff with a chance of a traditional three-point play. And Kansas State is pulling away right now.
Everything changes for Kansas State's offense if McGriff can be consistent inside the free throw line. Catches it, ball fake, doesn't have it, opportunity to attack with space, spins off. That's a tough finish from Kamari McGriff, the transfer from UNC Wilmington.
Found a Milos Ilic, his first. McGriff, a winner, part of 99 wins in his time with the Seahawks. Won 3 CAA titles, 2 in the regular year, 1 conference tournament when he and UNCW made the big dance last year.
He didn't miss a shot in their last game against Bellarmine in that win. He was 8 for 8 from the field.
What can Cal do to get offense going?
Have you seen the ball get into the paint at all? Very rarely has Cal been able to get the ball in the paint off the bounce. And that's a floater that's heavily contested. The foot's not exactly in the paint.
Oh, Johnson. What a take, coast to coast.
He is the ultimate Swiss Army knife for the Wildcats.
I mean, it almost feels like Cal needs another timeout.
It certainly does.
Pippen has it knocked away.
Good things happen when the ball gets in the paint. Let's take a look at Nate Johnson. Eyes up, pushing in transition, get it to the middle of the floor, inside out, Hezzy, crossover. About as smooth as it gets.
The foul, though, to Nate Johnson at the other end, his first.
Nate Johnson, we mentioned it earlier. You talked about it too, John. And how often are you the player of the year in the conference and the defensive player of the year in the conference as well?
Hadn't happened in the MAC since Bonzi Wells in the late 90s.
Pretty good company to be in.
And Pippen misses on the front end, a career 81% free throw shooter. First minutes for Montas Kochinas, the FAU transfer. He comes on for Ilic. And Cal did not make a sub before the first media timeout, but now they're just trying to find a combination that could work.
Day-Day Ames has only played 9 minutes. Has just 4 points and only taken 3 shots. When he comes back into the game, they need to find him some type of rhythm in their offense. I don't think Coach Mattson's worried about offense at all right now. He's worried about on-ball defense, and as soon as I say that, Haggerty gets to the rim. A lot of contact there, Joe.
That's out of bounds, last touch to Cal, and that's where you mentioned it earlier. Haggerty has been elite, top 3 in the country in free throw takes and makes in all of college basketball the last 2+ years.
Yeah, it's early, just a couple games into the season, but P.J. Haggerty's already drawing 8 fouls per 40 minutes, according to Ken Baum.
He has the baseline trigger, and he gets the easy layup. On a bounce, Andre Kostic, the freshman from Serbia.
Good minutes from Kostic, who had a great defensive possession about a minute ago. Nice cut to be a baseline on bounds.
Petritis gives it away. Castillo hasn't missed in a couple of games. He snaps out of the wing. Johnson, quick load. Misfire. Tip is there. Everything is dropping for K-State. Timeout, Cal.
Well, he's got 11 points, and there's 8 minutes left in the first half. Hasn't missed a three. 3 for 3 from the three-point line, 4 or 5 from the field. This is a kid who had a scorer's mentality coming into Kansas State last season. Scored over 1,700 points in high school. Made a couple starts last season. Coach Tang.
So out of the Cow's second call timeout, Johnson fronts some pressure. Cal has been rudderless at times. Ames has been on the bench a lot. Goes right to the rim out of the timeout. That's short, knocked out of bounds. Wildcat ball.
Ames definitely looking for a foul attempt, but I thought that was a pretty good wall up at the rim by McGriff.
So here come the Wildcats. 2-0 on the year. They haven't been 3-0 since 2022. Lepecki lead. Haggerty, 3-ball on high is good. The twine barely budges. It is a 12-1 run in a crisp 2 minutes.
That was perfectly executed Peja action for PJ Haggerty.
Pippen without a plan. Dort trying to clean it up. It rolls in.
Yeah, Cal needed that. That was great hustle and good activity to clean that up by Dort.
Wildcats coast to coast and one. They are flying down the floor.
Haggerty goes to back screen and then gets a dribble handoff. That action is called Peja action. And then PJ Haggerty, I'm gonna give you a comparison here. You're not gonna like it. You're gonna be upset. Okay? But I don't want you to be too upset.
I mean, not our apple talk.
He's not this type of athlete, but the way that PJ Haggerty pounds the ball on the floor, and he can go from slow to fast in a blink of an eye, and the fact that he's about 6'3", 6'4", and he finishes so well around the rim, there's a lot of Derrick Rose in his game. He's not Derrick Rose. He doesn't play quite like him above the rim, but Haggerty's toughness and the way that he can be both physical and smooth at spinning away from defenders. Every time I watch him on film, that's who I'm reminded of.
Well, they do have the Memphis connection in common. Haggerty time at Memphis and Tulsa. That last foul went to Dort as his second, so he's now on the bench. So they have had, what, 6 made threes and 7 tries from outside, plus 3-and-1 situations in the game, part of the ballooning 21-point lead. Cal in dire need of buckets. Pippen leaves for Ames, double screen lying in wait. 7 to shoot. Ames has it stolen away. Nate Johnson ahead, the foul from the right hand flush, and the flex. This has been a crushing start. Out of bounds. They are fast. They are furious.
It is a complete blitz. And this is why he was Defensive Player of the Year on the map. He would make those types of plays regularly. Sitting in the gap, getting out and running in transition, finishing tough. What a perfect X-Factor addition and compliment to PJ Haggerty and Abdi Bashir.
Probably a matter of time until he gets a triple-double. Ames without a plan, out of bounds. Trying to create solo there.
We're talking about Kansas State's offense a lot. They put 45 points up in the first half already, but their defense, really after that first 3-minute stretch, has been completely and totally dialed in. They aren't allowing anything easy in the paint.
Such balance from Kansas State. 11 from Castillo, but 6 other men with 4 or more. Look at that balance. Well, Buka got a little too cute there. Return the favor. Hot potato. Haggerty hanging here. He's around the ball.
Cal is just completely and utterly out of sync right now. They're playing on their heels, very hesitant and unsure of themselves. That's something that has to get addressed at halftime.
They have as many turnovers as they have made buckets. 8. Pippen. The up fake not duping Haggerty. Ball screen. He's got a big Buka on the switch. Gets past him and dunks it home.
It's a nice job. It's the definition of getting downhill off of a late switch in pick and roll action from Kansas State.
Buka cuts to the cup. That's active hands tipped away by Elich. To the rim and a foul. Aggressive take there by Chris Bell, who had some space. And that's going to go on Nate Johnson, so he's got two. Both Bashir and Johnson with two apiece for the Wildcats. And we have not seen Bashir because there's been no need. Why even take the risk?
You don't have to. Yeah, you're playing with house money right now. You have no need to have him in the game. I'm sure, you know, when a shooter like that is making shots, you're itching to get back in, but there's just no need right now. Still a lot of game left.
It looks like Castillo will come on for Johnson. Bell at the line, up and in. And Bell coming off a strong showing at 15 and a career-high 7 boards against Cal State Fullerton. Young man who had a really slow start shooting-wise in non-conference with Syracuse, but was elite in league last year.
Yeah, shot 44% from 3 in ACC play. He had that game where he went 7 for 11 from 3 against Pitt.
Oh, now it's Bell fronting the pressure with Dorsey lying in wait at midcourt. Haven't been many chances to trap yet. Kansas State's kept the ball in the middle a lot. Buka pointing quarter. Castillo, first miss of the night. Pippen weak side. Surveys. Bell gets to the corner. Buka rejects. Another rejection. The big man swats 2 in a row. Castillo loses handle. Haggerty saves it to Buka. It helps to have a 7-2 man in the middle. Bully ball travel.
I mentioned it before. Haggerty's going to set this screen and then come off for a dribble handoff. That is called Peja action, which was made famous by Peja Stojakovic at the Sacramento Kings. Used to set that back screen and you come for a DHO. How are you supposed to guard that? You can't help off of Haggerty. He's literally the best individual scorer in the country. That's why it's so important. If you're a great scorer, you should always focus on screening. You're going to get shots. Your teammates are going to get shots as well.
Yeah, of course, his son Andre was with Cal. Left due to transfer to Illinois. Out of bounds.
But he was great against Texas Tech the other night.
One of the elite talents in the country. Now Mark Madsen telling his Bears, maintain the pressure. Try anything to slow down this Kansas State offense. They originally had sloughed off into a half court. He said, no, be lying in wait up near midcourt.
Just trying to get Kansas State out of rhythm, because right now they are 100% dialed in and can really go wherever they want. You need to disrupt rhythm in any way that you can.
Haggerty rattles out. Rare miss. Pippen. Dorsey puts it on the deck. Elich, the lead for Camden. Contested 3 is short, out of bounds. And again, Mark Madsen telling his team defensively, continue the pressure.
Well, the pressure right now isn't necessarily just to steal, but it's when Kansas State gets it across half court, which is really easy, too easy, way too easy.
Wow. That's C.J. Jones in his first action of the year, the UIC transfer. Showing a new level of depth here late first half. Pippen. And he's fouled. And the matchup with a 6'9" Rapiak, who gets his first.
It was perfect defense by Rapiak. He just can't reach your hand in the cookie jar.
Well, for Kansas State, everyone is getting in on the action. They're well on their way to a hundo tonight. Under 4, and they got 49.
Go and lose control.
Houston for that. And the scary thing about the Houston Cougars right now is they're going to continue to get better with that big-time freshman class when all those guys returning and JoJo Tugler is just getting back to being healthy. I still think the title is going to go through Houston.
First bonus free throws of the game. Pippen, who had missed one earlier, hits them both. P.J. Haggerty, the fuel for Kansas State. He's got 8 and 4 dimes. He's coming off his first ever points, assist, double-double. He seems to be on his way again tonight. Rapiak Trying to back down. Bounces. McGriff, spin cycle.
That was like clinic worthy from McGriff, and I know good post-up play at 5'10".
Prime Dog would be proud. It's now 31 paint points for K-State. Camden tries to thread the needle. And the foul down low as Elich got hit. And that's going to be McGriff. That's his second. So Kamari McGriff, Nate Johnson, and Abdi Bashir Jr. each with 2 fouls for the Wildcats.
Certainly something to monitor, but you just mentioned a stat there, John. You said 30 points in the paint. It's 30-8 points in the paint. We're talking about how great Kansas State is as a three-point shooting team, and they are. They're elites. And they've hit 6 already in the first half, but it's been either threes or everything inside of 6 feet for them. They're getting great looks consistently.
1-and-1. Elich misses. Haggerty has it.
You just feel like for Cal, you need one guy to make a big defensive play.
Haggerty, tough shot. He wanted to contact the N1 there too. Yeah, that adds to it. You mentioned the 6 made triples. I think they're also at 3 traditional three-point plays in this game. Elich. McGriff playing a little softer with 2 fouls. That goes in.
Nice patience. He also checked twice to see if the help was coming. That was a tough move by Elich.
Rapiak leave. Castillo's been a little quiet of late. Bad pass. Pippen saw it, tipped it out of bounds. But Day-Day Ames, the leading scorer for the Bears in his homecoming to his original college. Not the best start.
Was having a great start to the season. He's averaging almost 22 a game. He had 24 in their last game when they blew out Cal State Fullerton. And he was excellent coming off pick and roll action, getting downhill, spinning off defenders, but has really struggled to find any breathing room in the half court tonight.
As many giveaways as made buckets so far. Kostic against Ames. 5 to shoot. No panic. Rapiak. Pocket pick by Ames. Follow forward to Pittman. Dunks it home.
It's good hustle by Ames. Sometimes you just need that one hustle defensive play to get yourself back into the game. Anytime when I was struggling offensively and shots weren't falling and I was out of rhythm, I always would just tell myself, I need to make a play defensively. I got to get into the game somehow and affect the game without scoring, and the offense will come.
A great tic-tac-toe passing, but the defense collapses and denies Ike Garuka. We approach 90 seconds. Ames flies to the ball, thought about a deep 3, drives closer on Haggerty. Camden in rhythm, no.
Don't mind that shot. I like that because Camden caught it in the rhythm, and there was drive and kick action for Cal.
And Haggerty going at Ames, send it the other way. It'll be his second foul.
It's just a super important minute and 17 seconds for Cal. Ames makes the defensive play, and we've got a tech called on head coach Mark Madsen of Cal.
A Class B foul for a coach's box infraction. He was warned about it by Doug Sermons earlier. He was given a second informal warning, but he's been out of the box. That's been a point of emphasis in college basketball for a few years now. So Haggerty at the line, 89% on the young year, and he misses.
He knew it. That's why he walked forward. As soon as he shot it, he walked forward because he knew it didn't come off his hands clean.
In today's more transactional college landscape, it's a one-shot foul as a Class B technical. He almost was traded in a way, right? Doug McDaniel, who was the top assist and steals man, went from Kansas State to Memphis, while Haggerty, who was one of the sought-after transfers in the portal, went the other way. Bell, the long 2 is true.
Quietly had a really nice game so far. 9 points for Chris Bell.
The Wildcats trying to add on to the final minute before the break. Kostic taps it to Ames. Bears on the break. Send it the other way. Diakwe Monyeldut, his first. So watch Mark Madsen, left side of the screen. He's on the floor there. He's nearly at the three-point arc.
Yeah, and you could see his assistant coach is trying to tell him to come back onto the court. I mean, when you're on the three-point line, that's usually you're going to get dinged for that.
What do you want to see in this possession?
So they haven't really done much ball screen action yet. And, well, they went 1-4 low, almost 1-4 low. They just let it go ISO.
And a timeout called by Kansas State after McGriff followed the high kiss miss. We'll take one as well. We'll be back in 30. The Wildcats running roughshod here in the Little Apple this evening. And he said, yeah, in the right situation and circumstance, he's been playing with 2 fouls.
Well, and that's the trust that you have with your players.
Oh, Ames. And hard contact, no call, timer off.
Good hustle back by Ames. I know it's a small thing and it's a boring thing, but that was a great sprint back by Ames, who was out of position.
Timer off. Haggerty can score, but he can also distribute, coming off an 11-assist game. 5 seconds. Wrap around, rejected away. And Bell flips it. Pippen can't get the shot off. Timer hits, and halftime arrives. It has been a mauling in favor of Kansas State.
My goodness, lights out. Kansas State shot 68% from the field. They hit 6.
The scoring is no fluke.
And will Cal get Day Ames going? He was their top scorer, averages over 20 a game.
Camden kicks to Ames, who eyes the shot clock. He's been hounded by Haggerty a lot. Camden lying in wait.
That's an offensive foul.
Trying to create space. The carve from Camden is his first foul.
It kind of looked like Camden got stuck in no man's land, where he wasn't sure if he should go screen or ball screen, but two-hand push, pretty obvious call.
And Mark Madsen, as he did throughout the late stage of the first, imploring his team, continued to provide at least some form of pressure. First minutes in some time for Abdi Bashir Jr. Picked up 2 fouls in the relative infancy of the game. Johnson, inline drive, spinning on Ames. Help man fell down. Grain of the lane giveaway. Pippen to Ames, gets closer, changes hands and finishes.
Just a smart finish by Ames, because if he would have finished on the right side, the block is coming. But he was able to negate that rhythm by finishing on the opposite side.
Haggerty snaps up top, wide open all day. McGriff hits heel. Forward to Ames. Ames has had more touches these last couple of possessions than he did for long stretches in the opening half. Dort getting time. He had 2 fouls in the first. Hand off to Ames. Bashir gets screened off. Pippen. Hesitant shot. No. Rapiak brings it up. Great lob to McGriff over the bigger Dort. That was changed by Dort's length. Bears save it. Pippen. Only a half dozen assists for Cal. Ames drills it.
Uh-oh.
His first made 3, his first three-point try.
He has been shooting a blistering percentage coming into this game, shooting 60% from the three-point line.
Mabuka already set to sub in just 2 minutes into the second. Haggerty.
That's so smart. You saw it too, right?
He gets it.
He's just is so good at baiting defenders to jump, to lean in. Here's Ames. Good look at a 3.
No foul to Bell, his first, so Haggerty to the line. Consensus All-American in Memphis last year when he finished 3rd in America in scoring. And now the sub comes in, and you thought the game changed a bit when the 7-2 man Doreen Buka impacted both ends.
It was interesting to watch him because it wasn't necessarily just about block shots. It was the shots that he altered, that he forced Cal's front court to take shots that they don't normally practice. That's the true sign of a great rim protector. We see the blocks in their highlights and their stats. When you force a offensive player to take a shot that they don't practice. That's the sign of a great rim protector.
He's matched up with Dort. Pippen. Johnson goes over the screen. Ames against Bashir, trying to step back. Got him in the air. And hits again. That's a 2.
Oh wow! I think they're gonna take a look and review that on a stoppage.
Called a 2 on the floor. Haggerty lob. Buka out of bounds. Pippen on help.
Let's see. Does he get behind the three-point line? That is a filthy step back. Yeah, that's going to be a 3. What a tough shot! Wow.
Another Cal point is coming. Buka asking for it. Deep look. Tracks it down.
Oh,
Flips.
what a pass! What? Are you serious, Buka? There's no way he made that pass. That was perfect.
7-2 center from near midcourt. Ames, kick corner. Camden screaming for it opposite, taken away by Johnson. Ahead of Pippen, another jam! The run out flush. This feels like most of the first half all over again. Pippen off the fake, doesn't dupe him, has it taken away. Bashir behind the back to Johnson, and he did it! A beautiful finish off a great feed. That is pure offense. Ames, far more involved. 5 to shoot. Dort picks it up. 3 to shoot. Has to take it. And it was tipped. It was grazed by the length of Buka.
4 straight stops for Kansas State. They already have 1 kill to start the second half.
Dead ball means media. Johnson. Oh, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. Timeout, Cal.
This is about as good as it gets. That is a ridiculous dime from point center Buka. Basically at half court, and I know you don't like behind the back passes, John Sadek, but that was elite. Nate Johnson has been awesome. He gets the behind the back pass finish, knocks down a 3, 15 points for the MAC Player of the Year, Nate Johnson, the Akron transfer. John, there are an embarrassment of riches on the offensive end for this Kansas State team. I believe there are 2 teams in the Big 12 that are going to be drastically improved from last season. The first is Oklahoma State, and the second is this team that we're watching right here. Kansas State's offense, John, is elite this season.
They added over 5,000 points with a top 5 transfer portal class. Now, they did count the 3 for Ames. That added a point for Cal while we were away, and a good floater up there finished by Dort. That snaps a 9-0 surge.
Empty side, ram screen, ball screen action. Oh, what a pass.
That was tipped. And we'll get a timeout on the floor. Haggerty and company dominating the day against Cal.
Goes to a zone, too, out of this baseline out of bounds. Excuse me, John.
You like that?
Well, just mixing it up. They go right into man. They're just trying to throw him off guard, but I don't think Buka's off guard at all. This is just an epic offensive explosion from Kansas State.
Buka now with the bucket, couple of dimes. The flip to Camden. Dort, ball screen. Picks up the pound, hand to Camden. Trying to slither, kick to Bell. He's a shooter, and he knocks it down. He is the second Bear to double digits, joining Ames with a dozen. Kansas State, though, has had balance and diversity throughout. Haggerty. Pawed at by Ames. Stepped out of bounds. So no, it'll be a foul there. You love the play of Buka.
Just bringing effort and energy. He's not playing outside of his role. Did you see how he started at the three-point line and sprinted to attack that offensive glass?
Foul to Ames, his second. Able to take that one away.
Nice kick.
3-ball Bell hits heel. Hookah tips. Loose. Sprawling Camden to Ames. Into the corner. Quick load for Carr. Hits heel. Weak side Dort. Bashir knocked it out of bounds. Dorsey subs back in. He'll take the place of Bell. Kansas State hit 2/3 of its shots in the first half. Is on a similar path here in the second as Castillo gets his first run of the second half. He was dynamite in the opening stanza.
I mean, Nate Johnson comes out, who's been great. David Castillo checks in, who's been great. It's an embarrassment of riches for the Wildcats.
What do you want to see from Cal offensively?
There's just no really desire to attack the paint. I think they need to run action, run a play, a set every single time, and see if you can get into the paint. Good things happen. There you go.
Wrap around the door to dunks it home.
That's a tough, good dime from the freshman, T.T. Carr.
He had been sidelined a couple of games, only his second action of the season tonight. And Bashir flipped to McGriff. Surprised to have the space, drops the shoulder on Dort, puts it home.
Perfect footwork from McGriff after getting briefly off balance.
His head coach Jerome Tang said after his last game, the left hand, right shoulder, it's big time. Ames all day, got it. He's got 15, his third made triple. A lead the balloon to 25, whittled to 18. McGriff into the corner, Castillo, good fake. Puts it up, contested banker.
You watch Kansas State, a lot of their drives when they get into the paint happen with Bashir on the opposite side of the floor. You limit the extra help because you can't leave the best three-point shooter in college basketball for a drive and kick opportunity. It's just smart game planning by Coach Tang to always drive when Bashir is opposite on the floor.
Carr miss. McGriff to Haggerty. Offensive foul. Send it the other way, and that's Carr flying around.
I think you shake that one off for PJ Haggerty, but let's see if he kicks his leg out, because if it's an offensive foul if you kick your leg out while you're shooting.
That's his third foul. That's his sixth turnover. Carr's been physical, finds Ames, wing three, his first miss from deep. Dorsey trying to play ground, but it's caught by McGriff. Bashir showing he's got some handle. Hard screen, McGriff gets fed, drives down the lane, kick onto the wing, Castillo. Bashir slams on the brakes, has it knocked down and taken away. Active hands for Cal, and then a frustration foul looking for the loose ball. They'll get Ike Garuka. And a quick teaching moment, Jerome Tang calling Bashir over, talking over that last possession.
He's talking to him about when you get into the paint and you pick your dribble up too early. If you don't have anything, there's nothing wrong with just dribbling it back out. It sounds very simple and obvious. You don't have to pick up your dribble when you get into the paint.
Double screen. Carr has been inviting contact. Nice feed on the cut. Banker.
Starting to see just a little bit more rhythm from Cal.
Can they get the stops? McGriff behind the back. Rejected away. They do get a denial. Now Carr on the run. The seam closes. He finds Ames. And the jumper off for Camden. C.J. Jones, who got some time in the first. Bashir was open, lurking in the right corner. McGriff fed on the bounce. Contested lefty kiss. That's a tough shot.
That's his third really difficult and perfectly fundamentally sound post move that McGriff has done in this game. His footwork is big time. They're crushing Cal in those short roll scenarios when they're pick and roll action.
Ames on the spin, lost the handle, he got hit. We'll get another foul on K-State. Take a bite out of this bucket.
Little short roll from McGriff. Step, pivot, finish. He's been doing it all night.
Getting votes right now, but you think we'll soon be in the top 25.
Oh, Tucker DeFreeze, Lamar Wilkinson. That is a really good Indiana basketball team.
Foul to Ike Garuka, his second. So Ames, who has sprung to life offensively after a fairly dormant first half, he is sparked in the second.
Well, if we just look at the scoring, just the second half, it's 21-19. Cal is winning that. Their offense is better. They just cannot seem to string up multiple stops in a row defensively.
Ames is.
And they finished better layups. They're 4 for 4 on their layups in the second half. They were 5 for 13 on finishing, which is a huge point of emphasis for Mark Madsen coming in this game.
Castillo rattles it in.
Red hot, John. Red hot.
So in his last couple of games, he is now 9 for his last 10 from 3.
Is that good?
That's he's on fire in the old NBA Jam. Ames all shook him hard. What a crossover on Castillo.
It was absolutely filthy.
You were talking and one mixtape today. That's what I thought of there. And a grain of the lane giveaway to Ames. He's been around the ball a ton.
You and I are old. Kids don't know about the N1 mixtape anymore.
Oh, they're on YouTube. They know. The real hoopers know. Deep three.
Okay, here we go.
Ames getting hot. And Cal creeping closer, bringing it to 15.
23 for Day Ames.
A mini 6-0 run in just over 20 seconds. At some point, though, they need denials. Kansas State club that's been well on their way to the century mark from the outset. McGriff. Castillo, deep three. In and out. Petrides the board. Dorsey snaps back to Ames. Gets past Johnson. Petrides. And he gets fouled by Nate Johnson. That'll be his third.
Good screen there along the baseline. Castillo comes all the way to the other side for this 3 look. No communication on the backside or along the baseline for Cal. Castillo just shooting the daylights out of the ball. 4 for 6 from 3.
When he was getting recruited by Jerome Tang, he was the #1 prospect in Kansas. Spent his senior year at Sunrise Christian, a nationally recognized powerhouse.
Yeah.
He was recruited by 20 different coaches had spoken to him. Then Jerome Tang starts to give him the spiel. It's going on and on and on about why K-State is the choice. And 10, 15 minutes into the chat, he says, "Coach, stop. I'm coming." I'm already sold. Oh, great look. Dorsey finishes.
That was Pippen. That's what he does really well. That's his 4th assist of the night. He's such a good table setter.
So here's an 8-0 run. Hasn't really felt like much of a game since the first few minutes. Kostick in and out. Another empty possession for K-State. Can Cal capitalize? Pippen stepping back. In and out. Haggerty. Dorsey hustling hard. Thought maybe a backcourt there.
Now you have to fully clear the line.
Kick corner, Johnson. What a night. What a night. He is 8 of 10. "15 seconds, dead ball means immediate." Pippen. Dorsey wanted it, steps into it. Little short, Johnson's got it. With Haggerty and Castillo, goes right Euro to the cup on Pippen, bucket. Ames picks it up. Dorsey shapes up. At what point do you drive to the rim? Deep three, got it.
Wow. Cal is winning the second half.
Haggerty hit en route.
That's what he does. The offense is still elite for Kansas State. Inside out cross. Another three for Nate Johnson. And Johnson's been the guy. 20 points for the Akron transfer. He's got Kansas State up.
Haggerty at the line. Foul went to Dorsey before the break. You saw, though, in that graphic, the scoring variety and balance that Kansas State has had makes it hard to defend, right? What do you take away and how do you do it?
That's why on-ball defense, it sounds so obvious, but yet it's so important. The ability to contain individual dribble penetration is everything. It's the whole defensive scouting report, because everybody can put it on the deck and drive and kick, and you got shooters all over the floor.
Dort trying to fight, has the size advantage on Castillo. Pippen surveys, thought about the high-low, he's denied. Bell, up fake, got Kostic in the air. Thread the needle to Pippen, and he's hitting foul.
Pippen sold that really well, and he needed to do that.
Well, Castillo with his first.
These are really, really great possessions. When you're down, 7 minutes left. Coach Matson's giving Day-Day Ames a little bit of a breather on the bench. He's probably going to come back in here fairly soon. But you stop the clock. You allow yourself to automatically set up your defense. And I always felt as, take a look at the next generation here.
It's fun to see that next wave coming on. Nate Johnson, they break that press, nearly turns it over. Somehow Sticky Fingers able to hold on to it. They reset. Haggerty defended hard by Dort, and that's going to be a foul on the big. That's his third.
I want you to watch this, John. I mean, I'd be curious to see if he makes an adjustment. The last few possessions for Haggerty, he's been carrying the ball a little bit, especially in his left hand. And I can see the refs are starting to take a look at that, especially when he comes off pick and roll. He's palming it a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's where, despite his outstanding production, the volume overall numbers are astounding for Haggerty. His head coach, Jerome Tang, thinks there's way more in there. Said after his last outing when he had a points, assist, double-double, I don't think he's played well. 11 assists is good and all, but there's a whole nother level he can get to, and he'll get there. Haggerty.
Oh, my gosh. Holy moly. I mean, how good is P.J. Haggerty at finding gaps?
And you had a chance to ask Jerome Tang before the game what that other level is. Pippen.
Yeah, and it's not just about him scoring. It's about him understanding time, score, possession. Winning plays don't mean just scoring all the time. There's things defensively in which he can get better at as well.
Split the double, another foul sandwiched by Dort and Carr, and that's going to be Dort with his fourth foul. They already had two subs at the table, but at this point, Dort's probably got to come out. And
Haggerty is one of the few players in college basketball that can make a split. That's virtually no window. For 99% of players, there's nothing there. But for P.J. Haggerty, it's like the seas parting, and then he tries to do it again, and that's where he's elite, John. Not just the scoring, but his ability to draw fouls. He's so tough. His toughness doesn't get talked about enough.
And Jerome Tang's turn of phrase when speaking about his young star. And a foul fighting for the loose ball. McGriff bowled over Pippen. He told us that he wants him to control the game.
Yeah.
And everything that goes with that.
Understanding the time, the score, possession of the game. So you don't always just have to make the shot or make the assist, and his ability to be like the hockey assist guy in certain scenarios.
Surprised that Dort stays in with 4?
I think, but you're really comfortable with understanding that maybe off the bench there, Coach Madsen isn't comfortable with the guy right now in the front court.
Nice foul to McGriff, his third. Bell off the up fake. Hang and miss, an air ball, but a weak side tip. There was Dort. There's still a good amount of time left. Haggerty opposite. Kostic loads, misses. Weak side Camden, foul on the floor. And that's going to be McGriff, it looks like. That would be his 4th foul.
That is the 6th team foul for Kansas State.
Now this is going to go on Dort.
Yeah, they just changed it.
And Dort subs out.
You called it, John. You called it.
I mean, he picked up fouls 3 and 4 90 seconds ago in game time.
Early on, this is one of those trust things about you're learning about your players, and that'll be on the film session of understanding how many fouls you have. That's the game within the game you have to play with your mind as a player.
Now McGriff, first free throws of the year. What do you see here?
What I think the refs are seeing at the very end is that brief push off by Dort. I'm probably play on in that moment though, John, because McGriff was being really physical as well.
E.K. Garuka to the table. Second free throw make. He'll come on for Kostic.
We have the benefit of slow motion instant replay, but live, you know, I could see how that looked like a push off on Dort.
And so Kansas State with a sizable lead most of the night, still showing some pressure at times on Cal. And Pippen gives it away. Each time they've applied a little bit of pressure, it's often been successful. What's the mindset of each of these teams with about 5 minutes left?
Well, next foul for both, you know, you're in the bonus. So either way, especially for Cal, the best thing to do is to get to the free throw line, stop the clock, and set up your pressure. For Kansas State, their spacing has gone a little bit tighter in about, you know, throughout the first half. The spacing was good. Drive and kick, extra pass, swing for threes. These last few minutes, it's really just been Haggerty attacking. Maybe you'd like to see the pressure taken off of Haggerty, find some more spacing.
O'Neal did the block, but he swatted it out of bounds. Bashir has been incredibly quiet, really going back to that second foul early in the game. Haggerty, what a job to get in position, and he just has that feel.
Well, he faked out Cal's interior defense because all he did was he jogged up top like he was just going as a pressure release foul, and then bang, he goes from 10 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour because he reads Cal's defense isn't paying attention to him.
Oh, it was smart. Year 4 for Jerome Tang, who has led his Wildcats to a 41-9 mark in this building. But as the roster has changed, as it does for everyone in college basketball these days, what have you seen in his run with this Wildcat club?
So for Jerome Tang, he's had to adjust, and offensively this team is elite, and I think there are a lot of things from his perspective that he wants to clean up defensively. And you know, his first year at Kansas State, I mean, they had good offensive players but just heavy defense. The second year and they go to the NIT, you know, good tough physical defense, and last season they kind of got away from that, but this season they have so many shooters and three-point shooters and scorers. You might take your foot off the gas pedal and let some things go defensively, knowing that you're going to score 90 points.
James into the corner, 3 ball is good, knocked down by Bell, who has had a solid night. That now gives him 15.
It's just been a much better second half for Cal. There's just such a huge deficit coming out of halftime.
Haggerty and Bashir playing catch. Left to right crossover. Haggerty hang. Shoulders bounce. That looked ugly and it went down.
He makes the difficult look routine on a nightly basis.
MOD, there's 4 minutes to go and Kansas State has 92 points. It's the best offensive start in decades for the Wildcats. Off the jab step, Bell got it. Showing the confidence there. His 4th made triple and a tee. Bell, after hitting the triple, gets
Three shots. I think impressively, though, he hasn't forced anything. He also has 5 assists and only 1 turnover. Unselfishness from Bashir.
87% free throw shooter last year. Missed the front end of the free throws. Gets the back end. So we have 3:51 to go. Cal's been hanging around. Not really close. You haven't had any conviction sense that Cal is going to win the game yet. But there's so much time. And this Kansas State team has gone dormant offensively for stretches, even though they've got 93.
Cal's offense has been good. They scored 45 points so far in the second half, and there's Bashir getting too open of a look. But they haven't been able to drive any consistent stops on the defensive end. They're just trading buckets.
Bell, wing 3 is good. He's getting hot. That's his 5th made triple. He's got 21.
Well, that's 1 stop and a bucket.
Just like that, it's 11.
Yep.
Johnson. Bashir comes to it. The lead for Haggerty. 7 on the timer. Haggerty off the fake. Great lead, and the soft finish down low for Kamari McGriff.
How patient and poised was that from Haggerty.
Yeah, a word that could describe a lot of his talents is feel. Bell. Heat check moment. Out of bounds. And that's going to be Cal ball. Last touch to Nate Johnson.
It's a Day-Day Ames time for Cal. If there's ever a time for Day-Day Ames, and that was right in front of us. We saw it. At the very end, it was knocked out on Johnson.
Ames has dropped 23 to lead the game. That includes 5 made triples. He's the trigger man here deep in the corner. Bounce to his big. Camden out of the corner. Has size on Johnson. Ames in the middle. 7 to shoot. Bell comes to it.
Good go screen. Really good go screen. And Ames called Bell's number. He didn't call his own number. He called for the go screen. That was really unselfish and high IQ play from Day-Day Ames.
Haggerty. Lost the handle. One by McGriff. Stays with it and one.
McGriff is just everywhere all the time. Always in the right place at the right moment. Doesn't force anything. Fearless in the interior. 20 for McGriff.
Incredible performance tonight. Free throw line fairly even between the two teams. A slight edge in attempts that makes to Kansas State. Sub with C.J. Jones coming back in.
McGriff hadn't made a free throw coming into this game. He's 5 for 5 tonight.
So Cal go on the floor, 2:03. Now Cal only has 1 timeout as McGriff goes off to a very smart basketball crowd applause for his efforts.
It is a smart crowd here at the Octagon of Doom.
I think you have to say that in a Dr. Evil voice. It's mandatory.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it, John.
Ames called away. Got it. Tough bucket for Cal's best score.
I mean, it's a good bucket, but you're just trading points back and forth. You're running out of time here. You need 2 stops in a row right now if you're Cal. Have to.
And now Kansas State working a little bit of clock. Rapiak, Haggerty, back to Rapiak, pops a 3! No, weak side, taken in by Carr.
Got to be a quick bucket here.
Camden, right to the bucket, bang! Now K-State searching for the century mark. And a timeout called by Jerome Tang. We'll take one as well. Back in 30 seconds, looking for a hundo. In the second. Out of the call timeout, let's see what they run.
Well, you got four really good three-point shooters at the same time, and great ball handlers for Kansas State. It's one of their smaller lineups.
Haggerty gets the clear. Deep three. Other way, it's another offensive on a kick. It's the second on Haggerty on his own three-point attempt on the game.
Bell better be careful, though, because he's imitating that foul play. I haven't seen that called. You know, you're making two calls like that on the same player. That very rarely happens in a game.
So now Cal, what do you want here? Is Haggerty's got 4.
And you got to go. And so they're going to go double high ball screen, see if they can get any late switch.
Ames and Bell have been the hot hands. Bell flies to it. 3-ball up top. Got it! Timeout Cal. He's got 7 made threes. Wow. One off his career high. Wow. And we got a 7-point game with 36.8 to go in regulation.
So if you're Cal, here's the conversation. After we take a look from this shot, whose Bell has been red hot from 3. Got a piece of the hand too. Almost could have been an and one. That would have been a real game changer. But you stop the clock, right? You get the time.
And they're taking a look at the clock, trying to make sure that it is set correctly. It's right now at 36.8. It looks like they're probably going to add a second and a half here. And a couple of subs made by Cal. Looks like Petritus and Dorsey will be back in for defense. Guys with some length. Day-Day Ames has got off since the break.
He's been fantastic here in the second half. He's got 25 points for the game. And more importantly, he's got 7 assists. And really early on, he had 2 quick threes to kind of jumpstart his offensive performance. Literally drops a defender on that filthy, disgusting step back.
He is now 14 of 22 on his season from 3. He is leading America in outside shooting.
Cal's offense has been phenomenal in the second half. They've dropped 58 points in the second half. You're just always playing from behind. It feels like you can't catch up.
Remember that Haggerty is playing with 4 fouls. Bashir will trigger. Castillo is on as another ball handler. Petritus will front. 38.3. They did add about a second and a half. Haggerty. Opposite Bashir. Cal thought he traveled.
Now you have to foul.
And the foul comes from Ames. That'll be his 3rd.
Almost really well executed by Cal. You got Haggerty off balance. The trap comes. You don't foul. They don't foul right away. I take that back. Petritus looked like he was he went for the ball and then he went to wrap up Haggerty. That actually should have been a foul right away.
Yeah, it looks like Bell and Camden will sub back in as shooters for Cal. Johnson at the line. He's had a great night. His first free throws tonight, just his 2nd trip to the line on the young year. And he misses the first. So Petritus and Dorsey out, Bell and Camden back. I assume we'll see these offense-defense subs if dead balls allowed.
No timeouts for Cal. 2 left for Kansas State.
In and out, rebound goes to Carr. Here comes Cal.
Where's Ames and where's Bell?
Down 6. Got a 1 second differential shot to game clock. Ames doubled. Ames turns it over. He coughed it up. The foul given by Camden. His 2nd. It's double bonus. And any shot might have wilted on that giveaway.
It just took up too much time. And Ames got stuck on the dribble. That's a learning moment for Cal, but they'll go back and look at those last couple possessions And when Coach Mattson's always preaching tempo, they just couldn't find the right tempo to get Ames or Bell open.
Well, Haggerty, an outstanding free throw shooter, top 3 in the country in takes and makes at the line the last couple of years. And he converts on the first, that gives him 23 to lead his team. He's had just 1 miss and 9 tries at the line tonight. 6 assists, 3 boards. Still scratching the surface of what Jerome Tang thinks is possible. And a miss, just shy of 100. Carr given the pass to the hoop, dunks it home. Camden fronts. Entry to Haggerty, he's fouled. And Kansas State last reached the century mark in December of last year against Arkansas Pine Bluff when they set the record for points in this arena. They dropped 120 in that game. The Octagon of Doom opened up in 1988. So Haggerty at the line, 5.5. Somewhat rare miss.
John, didn't I say at the beginning of the game, I said first one to 90? I think I was wrong. First one to 100. Man.
No corn dogs. The final seconds, Carr. Whistle, count it, and 1 with 2/10 of a second. So he's going to go to the line with a chance to make it a 2-point game with .2. What are you thinking? What do you want here?
Well, you can't really do too much with .2.
But if
the only thing that you'd have to miss it, tip it real quick, and get fouled at the same time, and make the free throw.
Or hit the free throw and get a steal or a foul before entry. They just showed the replay of the contact, and the crowd does not like it. Free throw miss. It's a 3-point final. Well, Kansas State owned the first half, but Cal, with a strong recovery, showed what it could do offensively in a high-scoring game that you anticipated. Goes 99-96 Wildcats.
Really fun to watch.